Hello everybody! This is Elena from Travel Family Excursions and Tours, and for those who don't know me, I'm a professional guide in St. Petersburg, Russia. As you might know, we haven't had a lot of visitors coming to St. Petersburg recently, and the whole industry has completely stopped. This was our first year without work, and we had plenty of free time to learn our history better. And I have to tell you that I found so much information and so many stories that deeply impressed me, and that made me want to share them with you. With this series, I'm going to uncover and to help you understand Russian history better and everything about the Romanov dynasty in particular. There were so many Alexanders and Nicholases, it can make your head spin, and all of them had extraordinary characters, stories and connections between each other, and some of them deal with other countries. I'm going to be posting short videos, 15-20 minutes maximum each, briefly telling you facts. For better understanding, I will start in chronological order with Peter I, because he founded St. Petersburg and we live in St. Petersburg and arrange tours here. And we will finish with Nicholas II, the last Russian emperor. Then I will dedicate each video to one of the Grand Dukes or other significant members of royal family. I have also drawn their family tree so you can easily understand all their connections. Before St. Petersburg was founded, Russian Tsars lived in Moscow, which was the capital. Peter's father, Alexei, was married 2 times. His first wife, Maria, gave birth to 13 kids. Fyodor, Sophia, and Ivan among them. The second wife, Natalia, gave birth to Peter and his sisters. Fyodor ruled before Peter, and after Fyodor's death, court nobility with Patriarch, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, declared Peter the new Tsar. At that time, Peter was only 9 years old, while his brother Ivan was 16 years old. They chose Peter because he was very sharp, he was smart, and he had very high energy, unlike his sleepy brother Ivan. But the family of Alexei's first wife was not satisfied with that decision, because in case of Peter becoming a ruler, their family would lose the throne. So Sophia lied to riflemen, an elite military force of that time who would often interfere in politics, that Peter's family killed Ivan, Peter's elder brother. Riflemen stormed the Kremlin. They were armed with spikes, and there was no other choice for Peter's mother, Natalia, than to take both boys, Peter and Ivan, and to show up before them. That only stopped their brothers for a short while. And then they dragged Natalia's brothers outside and tore them to pieces with spikes. That all happened right in front of Peter. And this trauma haunted him for years after that, and had also reflected on his domestic policy. Since then, 2 brothers ruled together for the first time in Russian history, and their elder sister Sophia, the one who organized the uprising, became their regent. 2 boys even had a unique throne chair with 2 seats and a hole in the back of it. The foreign ambassadors wrote that 2 boys were very different. The first one, Ivan, had no interest in ruling. He could even fall asleep during the reception. While the other one, Peter, was very energetic and smart, and he always knew what to reply. Peter didn't grow up in Moscow, but in the suburbs, and he hated everything that resembled his time in Moscow. That terrible events he had witnessed there, the whole city and his past there. He also didn't have the traditional education as all Russian Tsars had, but he was a very sportive kid. He was very fond of war games, and he was very quick to learn, and he loved learning new things. He grew up having a wide range of interests. He was a very pragmatic and West-oriented person, because the suburbs where he grew up had a lot of foreigners who lived there. Very soon Peter got bored playing with toy soldiers and he switched to playing with kids of his age. But one day he found his father's boat and it became his favorite toy. That was literally a moment that changed Peter's life. He spent a lot of time playing with that boat, sailing, and even went to Arctic Ocean once. That dangerous trip made people realize that seafaring is going to be the thing of his life. However, Sophia held all power of that time. She had a very strong personality, but she knew her main worry and her main rival was Peter. Her regency lasted for 7 years. Well, now we cannot say for sure if she really didn't plan to kill Peter or just couldn't find the right person to do this. But the only way to hold on to the throne for her family was to make Ivan get married. Then he could produce the heir of throne. But when Ivan got married, at the same time Peter married a lady called Eudoxia, and they started having kids right away. Ivan had daughter Anna, and Peter had son Alexei, who had more chances to become a future Tsar. That only worsened the situation, and the animosity between them was growing. He loved to spend time in German settlements near Moscow among foreigners. He loved to watch their life, their customs and their dresses. He loved their parties and to dance until morning. It was a lot of fun, and that was the place where he met a girl called Anna Mons. They had long-lasting love affair. European culture and the way of life influenced Peter a lot, and he left Russia for 1 year. That year is known as a gap year in Peter's life and went down in history as the Grand Embassy. Peter went to Holland and Great Britain incognito, not as a Russian Tsar, but as a noble person who wanted to learn everything about shipbuilding and how shipyards were organized. During that year, Peter had made a decision to divorce Eudoxia, because they were too young when they got married. She was too different from what he wanted to see in a girl. She was a typical 17th century Russian Tsarina, very strong, very bright, and she hated Peter's parties. He wanted to be with someone who would completely support him, someone like his German girlfriend Anna. But Anna cheated on him, and their relationship fell apart. But he still needed to get rid of his wife, Eudoxia, and after some persuasion, Eudoxia reluctantly agreed to go to live in a convent as a nun, because it was the only way to divorce in Russia at that time. During his Grand Embassy, Peter got news that riflemen were rioting again and that Sophia was behind this. Peter was furious. He ordered that riflemen were publicly beheaded, but the riots in Moscow still went on. Peter was so angry with Sophia, but he didn't torture her. However, he tortured her ladies in waiting, and one of them was even pregnant and gave birth while being tortured. People were scared. Nobody expected this much cruelty, and Sophia had to negotiate peace with Peter, but it was too late. Sophia and Eudoxia were banished from Moscow and locked up in a convent as nuns. Peter's son Alexei was taken from Eudoxia and was given to Peter's sister Natalia, so she would raise him. And then, after defeating all the opposition, Peter finally got all that power and freedom that he didn't have at the start. So, this is it for the intro. As confusing as it is, we couldn't skip this information because it will help you to understand future events better. We also believe that the whole series will help you to understand some modern-day Russian events, as well as to plan your future trip to Russia, and maybe to understand that mysterious Russian soul. For me personally, this is a good opportunity to practice English because I have no idea when the tourism industry will come back to life. In the next video, I'm going to tell you the fascinating story of love and life of Catherine I. Please, If you enjoyed this video, drop your like here and click subscribe button, and don't forget to click bell button to be notified about future episodes. Please stay safe. See you in a couple of days. Hugs.